Give it a try now. All right. In order to get out.
That's the latch, huh?
Pull it back and quickly. Okay. Yeah, pull back gently and it will unlatch the hook.
See, it's just got a couple latches there.
Okay.
Off the traffic, that's 55 going west. We are 10 miles north. Left downwind for where we
Okay. Canopy's closed. Air brakes are closed. Canopy and air brakes closed and locked. Ready to go. I'm rocking the rudder pedals as the ground signal. He's going to pull us a little bit forward here and we'll straighten out. I'm using a lot of stick on the ground here to keep the wings off the ground. I got one hand on the release because, you know, things go wrong close to the ground. We want to get off right away.
Right, yep.
And we're looking now for 200 feet. We'll land straight ahead or to the right or left until we get to 200 feet. At 200 feet, we'll turn around and land downwind without any problem, really. It's pretty easy maneuver. Yeah, it's what you train for it.
Do you practice that?
Yes,
the release?
Routinely at 200 feet. And then check ride, they may do it at 250 or 300, but you can absolutely do it safely at 200. As long as you react reasonably quickly.
Yeah, pretty
A lot of
docile.
times you need to put in air brakes, and we're 300 feet now. You put in air brakes because otherwise you'll overshoot the runway. So
Gotcha.
There's a bird up above the tow plane straight ahead.
I see him.
That's a good sign. So we'll be looking for birds as we get higher. And feeling some bumps now, which I did not feel on the earlier flights.
That's good too.
So yeah, that's a sign of lift. It's a good sign. So you can kind of follow on the stick if you want right now.
Yep.
It is a little turbulent. What I'll ask you to do is see the horizontal stabilizer on the black wing walks and the tail wheel between the main gear. So I'm going to kind of let you see if you can do it. You got it right now. I'm guarding it in case you have trouble. So just react quickly and let it. Very good. You're doing good. That's fine. Good position. Yeah, keep the horizontal on the center of the wing walks and.
All right, so we're a little high here.
Yeah, but don't point down too fast. I mean, it's just little tiny corrections. And the yaw string looks good. You're kind of using the rudder pedals. You can yaw a little bit to kind of create a little more drag. Sometimes if you start to get slack in the rope, what you want to do is yaw away from the.
Okay, so
yaw,
you pull it tight,
Yeah, not fast, super fast, but just a gentle yaw will bring it back tight. Because we're much slipperier than the tow plane. So we get in lift, we may climb, and then faster than the tow plane, and then you have to kind of get down. So if you point the nose down too fast, then you pick up altitude, you start to overtake the tow rope. We're headed for what looks to be a good cloud streak there.
The dark here.
Yeah. We're that looks pretty good. So hopefully we can catch the bottom of that and fly upwind underneath it and not lose altitude. That would be great to get a nice view from there.
Beautiful up here.
Yep. So now our release procedure will be a slightly climbing right turn.
Okay.
In other words, there's normally I do a soft release to get a little tension off the tow rope so it doesn't recoil back and form a knot.
Yeah.
So what you could do is get a little bit high, not yet now, but just before release, we'll get a little bit high and then we'll put the nose down and get a little bit of tension off the rope, and then 2 sharp full pulls on the yellow handle.
2 sharp, okay.
To make sure it actually releases.
Yep.
And don't turn until you see the rope fall away.
Okay.
You don't want to, we have people that, and we're getting into some lift now, so I may take it.
Yep, it's yours.
Okay, I've got it. 2,500, so I'll demonstrate the release.
Okay,
But as it, where you were doing great. And it's not that it's, but you know, little small doses. So I'm gonna let you start.
No, I totally understand.
So we had a rope get caught around the aileron a month ago. We don't want that to happen again.
No.
So we're getting ready to do the release now. And we are definitely in lift. We're going up and down. There's the slack. And we turn back. The first thing you want to do is find the airport. You know, we want to be aware, situational awareness. Do you see the airport?
I got it.
You got it?
Insight.
Okay, so then we turn back upwind. And we're in lift, which is wonderful.
Look at that. Yeah, how about that?
So basically you were doing really good flying straight and level. So you see the dark bottom of the cloud. We want to get in the middle of the clouds, and we want to kind of go upwind, which is probably a heading of 040, 050. So I'm going to give it to you.
Okay.
It's trimmed pretty much good.
Okay.
We want to fly 41 to 43 knots, and go ahead and make a left turn now. Back to look at the clouds.
Back to the cloud,
and align yourself. We want to stay right in the middle. We may fine tune it as we get farther forward. So probably a little left now, which would be more upwind.
Okay.
So the
more
winds,
left.
yeah, right about. Keep turning, right there. So now kind of watch the vario a little bit.
Yep.
Watch the horizon, and we're not always going to be in lift, but if we start to see 200 feet a minute down, let's try a little turn to the right a bit. We maybe be between clouds.
Yeah.
So we're going to be patient here. We got the antenna off to our left.
I do see that. That's where we were playing golf yesterday. Right
Okay, Redland Golf Course. And we'll see if we start to get any more. I would go a little further left, just a tad, right about there. You're good, you're flying great. So it's just a matter of where is the lift.
Yeah.
And generally, the lift is better downwind. So let's go ahead and make a left turn. Let's clear left.
Okay, I see.
And clear, and go ahead and turn left. We'll go back farther downwind because the clouds are probably better developed. That's a nice turn. Don't overdo the left rudder. The yaw string, you know about the yaw string?
Yeah.
Okay, so we don't have. So
ball,
let's look at. Well, I have a ball back here, but I use the yaw string. So look back at the cloud to your left.
Yep.
Let's go underneath that one.
Okay.
So we'll head straight for the darkest, flattest part of that bottom, or maybe a little on the upwind side, which is the right side.
Yep.
And but we want to go under the clouds as much as possible on our way there. So we're headed. So what happens is the clouds get stronger as they go downwind sometimes, and we want to. So there's just not as much lift in the upwind clouds. So we will head back downwind in hopes of finding that stronger lift that we encountered on tow, or right after tow. And a little to the left, there's more cloud there as we're on our way. Yeah. So under the blue is less chance of lift.
Yeah, not gonna find much, right?
Right. You're flying very nicely. So
this is awesome.
you just got to find some lift. So
right.
I would go a little bit right now, like 5 degrees right.
Just, yep, under that
kind of ledge, the upwind ledge.
Yeah.
And I see a bird coming up. So
yep.
So let's see what we find just ahead. He's not circling though. So
he's searching too. Bummer.
Right. Let's be patient. I think there's a good chance that we'll get something. I'm starting to feel some bumps now. So we're gonna clear right and probably turn. I recommend turning to the right.
To the right
we're
now.
At zero sync. Let's see if it gets a little stronger. Wait for a second. Go ahead and turn right. Go ahead, turn right, turn right. Okay, nice and easy. A little more right rudder. There you go. Keep the nose level. Keep turning, keep turning, keep turning. We're gonna do circles right here. 360 degrees. Keep the nose level. The rudder control's good. Keep the nose on the horizon, like 41, 43 knots.
Yep.
And sometimes we just need to be patient and let it build as we gradually center it.
So we're just going to keep circling here.
We're going to circle for a second. Now I'm going to tell you to level the wings in a bit, and we'll fly to kind of get more towards the center. So level the wings right now,
Okay.
and we're going to fly this way for a few seconds, try and center it. Let's see what happens.
There's some birds circling there.
Yeah. So that's a good sign. So
Yeah.
plan on turning underneath them.
Okay.
And we're going to,
There's lift.
yep. So they're my buddies. They show me where the lift is lots of times. So I would circle now. Go ahead and
To
turn
the right. All
Yeah.
right.
And keep the nose level. Don't accelerate. But don't put the nose down because it'll accelerate. Keep turning. More bank. One more bank. Up. There. That's perfect. Perfect. Keep the nose up. And keep turning. Rudder control's good.
Yeah. That's
So
the rudder
now,
to keep
we're going to keep
around.
doing this.
Okay.
We're going to keep doing this because we're in lift.
Yeah. Look at that. Awesome.
Yeah, but we're going 50 knots, so you can try and concentrate, look out at the horizon, and keep that nose level on the horizon.
Keep coming around.
And it will overbank a little bit, but just this is a perfect bank angle, and we're going a little bit faster than we could. If you keep it closer to 40.
About 40, okay.
Yeah, just above 40 was fine. And as you look at the birds, as you're circling and you see them more in one direction, you
Yep.
can kind of reduce the bank slightly to get closer to where they are.
We'll come around here.
Yeah, you got the right idea. You don't turn left, but what you
Right,
do
yeah.
is when you come back around, you make that little adjustment to get more in that location. So you're always thinking, well, was the lift stronger
Where?
behind me? And so you kind of have a mental picture of where the lift is stronger.
Yeah.
So you don't do all this turning different directions. You think about what minor correction can I make
Take a bigger turn.
to get back into where the lift is stronger. So I would keep turning right, and because I'm looking at the bird, now level the wings. Level the wings for a second, and bring the nose back up. Okay, and wait for a second. Wait for a second. Wait for a second. Okay, turn right.
That's some good lift.
Yeah, but don't let the nose drop. Go right on the horizon. Let it kind of sweep through the horizon. Nice and easy. Perfect. Beautiful. Beautiful. Very nice. And sometimes we got to fine tune the lift. So we're in a little sync, but
Yep.
we're gonna make a correction in a second.
Find it. I can feel it. There it is.
Okay, now level the wings. For a second, we're going to count to 3, 1001, 1002, 1003. And now continue to your right turn.
To the right.
So that's how you make the little adjustments to try and
To get back through.
into
Okay.
the center of the lift.
Pause a turn and
Yes, and to kind of go in a certain direction of where you think the lift is stronger. So we're 2,600 feet. That's not bad. Not bad at all. Okay, let's level the wings again for one or 2 seconds. Don't drop the nose. Okay, and continue your right turn. I'm not saying I'm giving you perfect instructions of where it is.
It's working out. Yeah,
I'm going for my judgment. That's all.
Look at that.
And I'm not always right, but if you're right more times than you're wrong, then you end up staying up.
It's a pretty good streak. So.
Yeah.
There it comes.
And a little closer to 40, we'll go up faster.
Right.
So you're starting to get the feel of it. So I'm going to not guide you quite so much. I want you to do what you think might be working. Because in terms of the stick and rudder, I think you got that down, no problem. And in terms of finding the lift, it's kind of, you got to figure out
It's just the judgment
works.
call. Yeah.
You look at the clouds, you watch for the birds, you think about where it was stronger, you think about which way the wind was going. I've heard people say sunny side of the clouds sometimes.
Interesting. I'm going to do this for a couple seconds here.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to keep her coming back around.
The one thing to know about the instruments is there's a little lag on the pressure instruments too. So
Right, yeah.
if you wait you may wait and actually fly out of the strongest area if you go strictly by the instrument indications. So some of it is what you're feeling and on the wings, but the instruments are a good guide. They're a good guide. So. So our position relative to the airport is good. We're upwind. We're not anywhere near the traffic pattern. There's really no traffic pattern that we're conflicting with here. So enjoy.
Always thinking, right? And there's almost 2,700.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a wonderful hobby, a wonderful sport.
Oh, yeah.
You know, there's contests.
I can see it being addicting. Absolutely.
You know, great places to fly are like Minden, Utah in the summer months where it's dry. You get cloud base to 16,000, 17,000 feet easily.
With good uplift.
Yeah, with thermals and mountain lift and a lot of fun. And there's a bird right off your right, the nose to your right. So I don't know,
he's just searching.
He sees you and says, that guy knows what he's doing.
Au contraire. Sorry to disappoint. So how long have you been flying? Gliders, I guess?
Flying gliders since about 1998, I think. 1998.
Okay.
And so it'll be 20 years next year, and I've been flying power 1 year longer than that. So
Cool.
I started late in life. It's funny because I was on a date with my wife, whose first husband was a flight instructor, ended up going to work for one of the airlines. And I took her to an air show, and she said, "You're not interested in flying, I hope." And I said, "Nah." So 6 months after my divorce, I started taking flyer lessons.
Hey, better late than never.
Yeah, I've had so much fun. It's been great. And I guess you're doing corporate flying. That seems like that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is. We get to a lot of different places. That's the fun part of it.
As long as you're working for decent people, that.
Yeah. And we do, for sure. We're quite fortunate. All right, so
I think you're doing good. I'm looking at just keep doing what you're doing a little longer. I'm going to assess the skydive situation.
Yeah.
And figure if we should venture a little further downwind, which I think we might want to do. Once we're at a high enough altitude, we can try. But that's not a bad thermal right there.
no.
So it does require some circling, and patience.
Yeah.
But the idea is you enjoy the view and watch the weather change. And we are going to go a little bit downwind, let you venture, and I'll tell you when to level the wings. But begin to see a line of clouds develop. So if we're at about 10 degrees, we're going to roll wings level.
Yeah.
Exactly. See those dark clouds.
Yep.
So I see the jump plane on the ground, so that should not be an issue. And let's just go slow. So let's don't accelerate, because I think we'll still be in lift. So we're going to use this. We're not going to go downwind any more than we need to, but we will venture a little bit downwind now, just for a change of scenery and maybe we'll get some stronger lift down there. Get up closer to cloud
They
base.
do look a little darker up here. So.
Yeah, yeah. They get better. The clouds develop. You not only have the lift generated from the ground, but you have the latent heat of vaporization. When the water condenses back into a cloud, it releases heat that was used in that phase change to go from liquid water to water vapor. When it goes from water vapor to liquid water, it releases heat, and that causes the cloud to build. And so it's sucking air in up from the bottom. So that those better developed clouds will lift you up. And jump plane is on the ground. So let's go a little left.
Okay.
It looks like more cloud on the left, and the sunny side of the cloud is on the left. And
we'll keep it slow.
Yeah. Except the trick is when you see if you see 200 feet a minute down, you want to go faster.
Okay.
To spend less time in the sinking.
Yeah. There's a little bit of lift.
Yeah. So even though you may have a goal in mind of where the dark cloud is, don't bypass some marginal clouds on your way. Because even if they don't have lift, they may have less sink. Assuming they don't require a major change in course. We're going to keep going until we get a little further down towards this cloud.
Traffic down below us now.
Yeah, we will see hopefully people behaving as they should at pattern altitude above the airport, but you'll get the occasional person that has decided they're going to plot their course country and fly over the top of every airport. So we'll watch for them. And I don't really want to go all the way downwind to that.
Yeah, I don't foresee.
So let's turn back either direction, and we'll go back
about left here.
Okay, we'll go back and look for a best cloud upwind, the wind's kind of like 050 or 060.
Yeah, let's start up here. 8 miles to the northwest of the field.
And sometimes, your weather changes. You get a blue spot that develops. There's over the airport, so you kind of
like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So you want to keep a little altitude in reserve.
Right.
You may have 5 or 6 minutes where you're not finding anything. So we have this expression: get high, stay high, and in the glider, and that's how you stay up for an extended period.
Gotcha.
If you're scratching at low altitude, if things deteriorate for a few minutes, you got nothing left.
You're living on the edge. Yeah.
But you're doing good. I would go a little faster now, maybe 48. And yeah, that heading right there looks good. And I see a bird up ahead, but he's cruising, not so.
Hopefully a few of these, this line here or something.
Yeah. I think we should almost be able to get there, but as we get down below, we're getting good. You're doing perfect. That's perfect airspeed, perfect heading. Use your feet now. Don't overdo it with the stick. So what I say to people: point the nose with your toes. See now how it's straight. How you're the yaw damper.
That's right.
And we're getting a little lift, so I slow up a bit. And it's going to push your. What happens is the lift will push you away from it. The rising air will lift one of the wings, pushing you away from where the lift is. So if it's pushing you right, you turn left. If it's pushing you left, you turn right. Okay. And just little corrections to see what's going on. But
not getting a ton right now.
No, we're not. So we may go back over the airport again, where we just found that. We'll wait another second or two. I would go a little left if I were you. There you go. That's about right. And then level the wings. Yeah. We're 1,300 feet now. So let's. I may take it from you for a second and see. You're doing good, but I wanna try and get. I want to see if I can.
Yeah, for sure.
Nurse the thing back up a little to an altitude where you can be a little less tense. And I hope I don't screw up and fall out here, but. I'm going to go a little slower than what we were talking.
Okay.
In hopes of. So I'm leveling the wings here because it started to seem stronger in this direction. And as soon as I see any kind of indication that it's coming down, I begin turning again. And I'm just trying to keep it positive here. So I'm happy that we're not going down. And then you be patient because that little source of heat, as you get a little higher, it accelerates, it gets stronger and stronger. And I was down scratching at 1,000 feet a couple weeks ago and ended up at 3,000.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I don't give up so easy. And 1,300 feet, a lot of you really got to be thinking about landing. Mm-hmm. But we're upwind and not in conflict with the traffic pattern. At 1,000, they're using the other runway. So hopefully, I'd like to get it back up to about 1,700, and hopefully it'll be stronger. And I'll give it back to you just as soon as we do. So it is getting stronger now.
It is, yeah. We can see a couple birds out here too.
Okay.
Big flock of them there.
Okay, so we're going to level the wings for a second here. Yeah, they're a good indicator. So you see the birds, so I'm going to give it back to you, let you stay with these birds, okay?
All right.
You have it.
I have it.
You have it. Don't let the nose come down. Keep it really right at 40.
Okay.
So look at the sight picture where the nose is on the horizon. Because in weak lift down low, we'll fly out of it. It's also smaller. They're cone shaped, so down low they're not as big in diameter.
Okay.
So you have to
tight turns.
Go slow. When you're going slower, you can turn in smaller circles. So that's the idea. But you got lots of birds as indicators here. So you stay with them, and we'll be good. Looks good. Keep it coming around.
Come on, there we go.
Yeah, because it's knocking you around.
Right.
So, that's the thing. You kind of realize that it's going to do that.
Just got to work it.
Yeah. Homestead traffic, use caution for glider circling 1,600 just off the northeast corner of Homestead General.
Local line in traffic.
Very good, very good. Very good, you're doing everything right.
Traffic, 695 exit line 1, 10 to active.
Very good.
Traffic, then 16 weeks on stall, left downwind from the west 5 to the home.
You got a glider flying overhead the field. It's going to fly because you're on right now with traffic.
You see the second one here.
Yep. I think you're doing, I wouldn't do anything different here.
All right.
You got birds all around you.
And there it is again.
Just
That's
keep
awesome.
the nose level, keep turning.
Total traffic,
1,700. We gained 400 feet.
Yeah.
And level the wings for a second there. See those right ahead?
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
get ready to turn again. Now, turn right. And keep the nose level. So we may get a good, really good strong
Yeah.
thermal here.
The birds don't lie.
Yeah. They look at each other and figure out who's going up faster, and they join up with them. So they're playing as a team, just like us. So. Little slower.
It's a
That's,
bird.
I like that. See, that's
Yeah,
good
that's
for my
cool.
video.
That's cool.
I always like to get good bird
Yeah.
shots because people don't believe it. You know, I say
Yeah,
I fly
I know.
with birds, and they go, "Yeah, yeah." You have a parakeet on your shoulder? Or?
Yeah. The stuffed parakeet on your shoulder.
Okay, traffic systems.
Coming up on 2,000 feet.
Man.
Glider Homestead.
So I'm having fun as long as you're good.
I'm having fun.
Okay, good.
How can you not?
You know, I get some people that say, "Man, we sure are turning a lot."
Oh, you're kidding.
I go, "Well, you know, the view's not half bad. Look outside
Yeah.
a little, you know.
Yeah.
Enjoy the view."
So for the rating, you have to. Are there like maneuvers that you have to do? And things
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that?
You'll
As long
box
as-
the wake. You got a little stick time on the toe,
Yeah.
and you'll do what's really one of the more difficult things is learning to box the wake because
Okay.
you're working against. You know what wake turbulence is like.
yeah, yeah.
So you experience that in a long wing glider with low wing loading,
Oh,
and you know you learn how to get or work around the kind of a rectangle around the core of the wake.
yeah.
So left, right, top, bottom, and you form a rectangular pattern. You do rope breaks,
Okay.
and you start off a little longer, and then you'll do them down to 200. You do some stalls and turns to headings, I guess, and you know it's about 30 flights total.
Yeah,
I
that's
think.
what it looked like for a commercial.
Yeah.
The commercial add-on.
It's the kind of thing that if you do a little bit of the book study ahead of time, you could do it. Honestly, you could do it in a weekend or 2 weekends.
Could you really? Yeah. Just as long as the weather's good.
Yeah, because you'll do a lot of pattern toes to get the number. I mean, you're proficient enough. You get people that just, like my brother, former F-18 pilot, who flies Airbuses now, who can't use his feet anymore for some reason. So, you know, I think it might take him a month or two to get a
Get
glider
back
out.
into it, and yeah.
Yeah, but you know, it just depends on how well you fly and if you've kind of read the book stuff so that you can get through the
ground
the
knowledge
oral,
stuff,
yeah, and but the thing is, you really want to learn how to do what you're doing now, which is thermal.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people come do a quick add-on, and every glider flight for them is a sled ride down from where they got off to.
Right, it's yeehaw.
Yeah, and that's
all they do.
like that gets old really, really quick.
Yeah.
And so when you can fly for a couple of hours off a 2,000 foot tow or 3,000 foot tow. That's really a lot of
Yeah.
fun, and it's
Pretty incredible.
yeah.
You can do that.
And you know, I've done a bunch of 5-hour flights down here.
Have
We
you
had-
really?
Yeah. It's not hard to do on a summer day. You know, May we're at the point where it's not overdeveloping into thunderstorms yet.
Right, yeah.
Every day, and you have good cloud bases. It's fun. And we had a guy fly from here up to Central Florida, Claremont, northwest of Orlando.
Really?
Yeah, about 220 miles, 6-hour flight. So there's lots of things to do. You
That's
know,
cool. Here go the jumpers.
Yeah. So we'll let them know that. I mean, we're really not a factor for anybody
because
right
they
now.
land over there, right?
But no, think about where the wind's coming from. So they're going to let them off upwind.
Right.
So we will be a factor, but
We
we're not
will.
right now. They sometimes let people off at 3,500
Do they? Okay.
for people just low jumpers.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and call and let the jump plane know we are up. Level the wings. See the birds straight ahead.
Yes, there they are.
We think we have the traffic on about a
So join up with them. I want to get that on video.
Yeah.
That's a nice flock of buzzards.
It is.
Okay, stay with them. Homestead traffic got a glider 2,400 just northwest of Homestead General. So let's get up to cloud base. Come on. The view's better.
Let's go, yeah.
Look at the birds. Stay with them.
There they
Add a
are.
little adjustments.
traffic on the guard I'm moving on your way.
Look at the ones higher up too.
About a 500.
Add a turn.
Oh, I got 3 seconds.
There we go. And get her slow.
Yeah, I remember flying with you last year. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, you know what? Actually, this is my first time.
Oh, it is?
You did fly with Merritt last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was down here with a different pilot.
Okay. Great. Well,
Brian was his
Thank-
name, so pretty close.
thanks
But-
for coming out.
Oh yeah.
Fun thing to do while you're waiting for your
Yeah. No kidding.
people.
No kidding.
And you know, this time of year, there's not many places in the country you can do this.
No.
Maybe Hawaii. So.
No.
But you definitely got the hang of it. This is what it's about.
Yeah.
You know, on a tough day, the lift isn't always. This is actually a pretty good day.
Is it? Yeah.
There's websites that predict it. You know, where you can look and see what the cloud base is going to be, how strong the lift is going to be, where it's going to be.
Yep.
And so this is actually better than average day, much better than average day for this time of year.
And in the winter. I'm
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
So what's learning to do is fly when the lift is not so strong, when you're down low, you know, to kind of fly really, really
And
carefully in
learning
order
to manage. Yeah.
and knowing how far you can go upwind, kind of getting to know the glider, the
I'm
capabilities.
sure it's all different for different gliders.
And
too.
this is not a high performance glider.
Yeah.
It's a high performance blast glider. You know, you can get some pretty nice ones for $30,000
Can
or
ya?
so,
Okay.
with a trailer, and they're just a joy to fly. You think about turning, and they turn.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just a lot of fun. Like a little jet, you know, except you can do loops and spins
Yeah. All the fun stuff.
and not worry about oil pressure or tumbling your
Yeah.
gyros.
No, this
or
is
any of
pretty
that.
easy. Yeah.
So very basic.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Nice. Homestead traffic got a glider, 2,800 just off. Homestead traffic got a glider, 2,800 just off the northwest corner of Homestead General. East cautionary glider is circling northwest of Homestead.
He's down there too.
And I'm saying that because there's a guy flying over us that I want him to let him know, hey, there's gliders around here, bud.
I have a question for the glider folks. Do you guys have a mode C, considering that's inside the mode C for Class Bravo?
We're non-engine driven aircraft, no mode C, no transponder.
But you're still operating within a Class B airspace that requires mode C.
Negative, we're over Homestead. We're in the mode C Vale 30-mile radius. We're not within Class Bravo airspace.
It's a mode C wing that circles the area. That's the only reason I'm asking.
We are not in Class Bravo airspace. We're in the mode C Vale, but we are not an engine-driven aircraft and are not required to have a transponder. So use your eyeballs.
That goes, that actually goes both ways here, by the way. Okay.
Everybody wants everything to show up on TCAS.
Yeah, I know, the fancy glass panel.
You know, it's just, you know, we will probably get something eventually at 20.
Yeah, you probably have to eventually, I would think, right?
Yeah, but we want something that's low power. You know, what we need is something that's really low power.
Right, yeah.
And the technology gets less expensive and better. So we will do it, but not until it's required, and it's not required. We're not an engine-driven. And the FAA just came out with, again, saying, no, gliders do not need ADS-B out.
Oh, really?
We're not. I mean, at least right now, it's not required, and not in 2020 either. But that doesn't mean it wouldn't be a good thing. But
Right, yeah.
you know, you look at the section. There's people that don't look at the sectionals at all. That fly, you know, that want to fly 3,000 feet over an airport, and there's glider symbols all over the sectional.
Yeah.
And parachute symbols, and you know, and how come the parachutes don't have don't have ADS-B out? I mean, you know, you can get tangled up with a parachute too.
Oh, there's not much difference from this to a parachute, I'll tell you that. This is just a solid parachute.
So we got a couple hundred feet down now, so the birds are maybe misleading you.
Yeah.
So think about where you want to go upwind. I recommend going
Back
upwind.
that way?
Yeah.
All right.
And let's go 48 knots, 48 to 50 knots, and head for that. Wow, look at the little one in front of it. Level the wings right there. So, and not above 48, but let's do 48.
If there will be a fuel overnight, we'll be a fuel order on the ground.
Good. A little further left.
Okay.
About 5 degrees. Right about there, yeah. And let's slow up a little now, because I think we're getting in better air.
Yeah.
And I don't usually get on the radio, and I don't usually do that, you know. I don't want to waste my AA batteries on having a debate with some guy, but it's just, and that was probably a training aircraft, and you know, he's got a fancy glass panel or something, and he thinks now that's all he needs is to look at the glass. And, you know, even IFR and VMC, you got to kind of watch out.
It's visual separation. You're responsible for it.
Yeah. And you guys are, you know, a flight crew too, so no reason that somebody can't have their heads up.
Right. Yep. No excuse, that's for sure.
Good. We're in zero sync now. I go a little further left. Darker cloud on that side.
Yep.
And slow up, slow up, slow up. I think we're getting into something here.
All right.
Okay, be ready to turn whichever way you think's best. I go left.
I was
actually.
thinking left too,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's a bird there.
Okay, we'll go left.
Okay. Don't
Another-
accelerate.
Another airplane there.
Yeah. See, we do have flight training off there, but they're not normally right over the airport.
Yeah. Still
And
back
not
there,
at this
but now
altitude.
It looks like.
Very good. You're doing great.
It's working.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's a pretty good day today.
Yeah.
Seems like. Getting better as the day goes on, too. This is the best one we've had yet.
Yep.
Knock on wood. As soon as they say that, it'll go away. But
No, I think
Traffic, this is Jammer, downwind runway 35. How'd you go? Okay, traffic. Homestead, general across the hill, the sky day, about 5,000 northeast, 1,500 inbound, and any traffic in the present, please fly. Homestead, general.
All right. I think we started off at 3,000 feet,
yeah,
right?
we did. How about that? All the way down to 1,300 and then all the way back up.
Right. Yeah. Okay, now we're even doing better. So yes. So what you can do, let's do another circle,
Okay.
and then we're going to try and venture upwind, which is back to a heading like 050, 060, underneath the clouds, and that's ideal. Hopefully we can do that, not losing altitude and go back upwind.
Maybe gaining it. Yeah.
Yes. So that's using a cloud street, which is a way to work your way back upwind and really have a good flight. So look back over your shoulder. You
Thinking
see
up that line.
Yeah, exactly. And the darkest part of the bottom, that's where you want to go. And realize that we're going to be in it and out of it as we go between little bubbles of warm air. Right about there. And you don't need to go faster necessarily. You just need to keep it headed in that direction.
Yeah.
So when I'm thermaling, I'm always, when I have an option, I'm always trying to go a little left.
Okay.
I'm always trying to work my way back upwind in a glider like this. You have less need to do that in a higher performance glider, but for us, if you have a choice of where to look for lift, I try and look for it upwind.
Okay. Well, yeah, that makes sense.
You don't want to fly downwind and not find it, because we've been, you just can't tell. Some clouds, they're beginning to collapse. The heat that formed them and the condensation, all of that is just ending, and they're just drifting along with no further lift under them. So you'll get that sometimes, and you don't want to go for a cloud, because none of them are sure things.
Right. Yeah. These seem to be working out today, though.
Yeah.
How about that?
So we're like, if you look straight up a little, you'll see, look up straight up high, high.
Straight up? Yeah, okay.
So we're in a little sink because we're in between clouds.
Right.
So that the cloud streets are not a continuous line, they're little bubbles of cloud in between. And so as you go in between, what we'll do is like a dolphin maneuver, where we'll accelerate when we get in the sinking air. We'll go a little faster, and then we'll slow up again once we get in the rising air.
Okay.
So you do that maneuver to change your airspeed or your pitch to get through the sinking air faster to get to the rising air ahead. And that becomes pretty pronounced. The pitch changes when you have really strong lift.
Yeah.
You'll accelerate the racing gliders will accelerate to 100 knots or 110 knots, and then they'll
insane.
slow up when they get to the next spot of lift. And they, in a race, sometimes gliders never circle. They'll just essentially
Follow that, huh? Okay.
just follow lines of clouds or lift, areas of lift, and they'll just slow up in the rising area and speed up in the sink. So we're in some rising air now, so you slow up. Go a little further left. See that? Just kind of middle of the cloud, wherever it looks darkest, sharper defined edges. It's a little fuzzier on the right than on the left, so that's what I'm going by.
Charlie Bravo, left base for runway 7 traffic.
And you can go a little bit faster now because, we don't want to get up in the clouds. And so you can use that lift to go a little bit faster and get further upwind. So you have reserve lift so you can go faster upwind. And that's kind of what we do. We'll go 80 knots sometimes.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid. You can absolutely go 80 knots if you're, stay out of the clouds. Yeah.
Airplane there.
Okay, well, I can't see him, but...
Yep, I got him.
Okay.
Avoid.
Homestead traffic use caution for glider 3,500 just northeast of Homestead General.
We're going to do a full stop at Park Wow. The general aviation area.
So you're doing good. Go a little left now. A little further left. That may be the jump
See, I was
plane.
going to say, I think that's the caravan.
Yeah. He's trying to give us a wide berth.
Yeah. So that's Tamiami right there.
Yes.
We get in there a fair amount.
Now Miami Executive though.
Oh, yeah.
That's good. So we're good. We're good. I like going upwind. We got plenty of altitude.
About as high as we can.
Yeah,
Can't tell where these bases are, but they're not much higher.
yeah. We can go a little higher, but not much higher. So despite what the guy was saying, we're not in Class Bravo, not even close to Class Bravo yet.
No.
Dead ahead is some Class Bravo, but
I do see Miami International.
yeah, but no,
yeah.
Essentially, we have to begin to worry as we get to the southern side of Tamiami or further east.
Gotcha.
We would need to go about 4 or 5 miles further east to be in the shelf, the lower shelf. This quadrant is higher up. It's above 5,000 feet.
Okay.
Actually, it's way above 5,000. I don't know what it does. So we're good. Good flight. Good flight. Yeah.
And I don't want to leave Barrett sitting there for too long.
You know what? He's your buddy, right?
Yeah.
So listen.
Can't leave him there too long.
No, but you know, we're at least going to go as far as we can go on this street. So, but you know, you really literally can on a good day like today stay up for a couple hours.
Oh, yeah.
No problem.
That's an hour right there.
Okay.
Close
good.
to an hour. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got 56 minutes on the voice recorder, so
57:16 on the GoPro.
okay. That's a good indicator. It's probably going to die anytime now.
Yeah, it looks like the battery's showing low.
Yeah, that's all right. We still have the top camera probably for a while.
There we go.
Yeah, so accelerate, that's what you do. Okay, ease up a little. Yeah, just let's keep it in the green because we are in some bumps. Okay. So yeah, well, they may get a primary radar reflection at our speed. They got, if you're going too slow, we don't show up, but that's good. They'll say UFO.
Yep.
All right. So let's clear left or right, whichever way you want to go.
I don't see anybody out to the left.
Okay.
Can we come about?
Yeah. So let's begin to slow up a little until you get back under the clouds.
Homestead traffic fighter, jet plane departing 9 Terrified aircraft remaining 11 coast traffic.
So now we don't need to go as fast because we have the wind at our back,
Right.
and we want to get under these clouds again. And this kind of cloud structure only really works well when you're reasonably close to cloud base.
Gotcha.
So slow up a little more. We got some lift here, but
Yeah.
we're back. I'd rather be 3,500. So there we go. Now we're going back up. So yeah, that's one of the things that'll happen is you'll get a well-developed street, but it won't work 1,500 feet below it. You got to be within 1,500 feet, something. It maybe even depends on winter clouds like these. You really need to be closer, so for it to work. But it's working. They're working.
We're not going down. I know that.
No, we're not. See, at this altitude with no lift, this is about this is about as far as we would go.
And it could do it
It could do it, yeah.
with a little bit of a tailwind.
Yeah.
Homestead traffic light, Smithfield downwind, runway 9, sir.
I'm just pointing us straight for the airport at this
Okay.
point.
Well, it'd be a little stronger to the right, but whatever you want to do, it's...
Okay.
And you know why I'm saying that, right? I've said it a couple times. More cloud, darker bottom, you know, that kind of thing. So. So if you get to fly a Champ again, one of the things you could take from this experience is if you want to climb, you're better off climbing underneath the clouds than in the blue.
Anything that helps, right?
Right, exactly. You know, a Piper Cherokee on a hot day that gets 200 foot a minute climb will, you know, it's nice if you can get an extra couple hundred feet.
Right.
And
Yeah. Oh yeah.
pick your location. There's people that want to fly in between the cloud streaks. You know, which I probably was guilty of that before I started flying gliders.
Yeah.
Think, I'd rather be under, you know, with blue sky above. But if you want to improve your rate of climb as you're trying to go up to your cruising altitude, then deviate a little underneath the clouds. So you want to try a stall or anything like that, some steep turns? You got enough altitude to begin to do that. So essentially you've been using your feet very well. So I would just kind of do a straight ahead stall first and then just kind of go nice and slowly though. We're not in a rush. So, and
that airspeed blade off.
yeah, just let it, and you'll get a little bit of a buffet here, but it'll, as you start to get it, and the controls will get sloppy, and all you have to do is release back pressure and opposite rudder. So you hear it starts to make funny sounds, and you're feeling a little buffet there, and
So just
yeah, that's it. It doesn't, you don't need much. And you know, if you're in a thermal, you may stall quite frequently if you're really trying to.
if you're really trying to climb.
Yeah, and I'm not saying you should do that at 1,000 feet if you're trying to maximize the thermal, but you can fly. You see where it stalled straight ahead. If you're flying gentle.
Coming up here, sorry.
Okay. Okay. Off to the left.
You see him?
I do, but I think he's well below us.
Yeah, he is. I think that's the jumper.
Okay. Okay, well, let's turn back that way upwind, and we'll do a steep turn. Let's do like a 45-degree bank, and don't let it overbank. But go ahead and do a real steep turn. Don't let the nose drop too much, but just kind of do some real tight turns here, so you feel that it can do that as long as you're.
It does have that overbanking tendency, though.
Yeah. So you can do a couple of G's, and now once you reverse the other direction, nice and easy. Use your feet to and do steep turns in the opposite direction. Yeah, he looks like that's a jump plane letting off somebody low. Homestead traffic, you got a glider 2,200 just off the north side of Homestead General, practicing steep turns. So anything you want to do, you get the feel of it, have some fun. And,
yeah, I'll do a couple more of those. Those are good practice.
You don't get to do those in the Hawker so much?
Not so much.
It makes the passengers nervous.
Only at school.
And you can accelerate, pull up a little bit gently, and then kind of do a wing over the opposite. I'm not going to say a chandelle, but I like to do wing overs and right as I get off toe, and just use the rudder. Very nice and smooth. Good. So you kind of get a sense that you can have fun flying the glider if you're just trying to burn off some altitude.
When you're trying to kill the altitude to get back down.
Yeah. I mean, one way is to pull the air brakes, and the other way is to have some fun.
Why not have fun? Yeah. You don't make a lot of noise, and
not using any gas, and
no air brakes. So. Well, cool.
Are you about?
I am
pretty
satisfied for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're at a good position, but I would like you to do a turn around so I can see what the other glider's doing in the tow plane.
Go to the right.
So yeah, let's do some circling here, and it's not to thermal so much as it is just to get situational awareness of what's going on. So the other glider is doing pattern tows, so we're going to let them know we're going to be landing after them. But let's just keep circling. That way we get to scan for traffic. We're now getting low enough that we're going to be worried about pattern traffic in the traffic pattern. Homestead general traffic, got a glider descending from 1,600. We're going to be landing runway 27 turf Homestead.
We're using 9 start.
Okay, we're going to use 9 turf at Homestead General. So you see the other glider?
I do, yeah.
So our pattern, we're not in the pattern yet. We're still circling. We're above the pattern altitude, but we're going to do a standard kind of pattern, but it's closer in. And one of the things that we don't do so much, we do our base turn is kind of at a 45 degree. So when we're beaming the numbers, we'll turn like 45. It's more like a curving, so that we don't want to turn our back and fly away from the end of the runway, especially with a good wind. We don't want to get blown further down, and you turn back, you turn your base, and you look over your shoulder and you go, oh shit, I'm too far downwind. So we kind of do a curving base turn, and we'll start that as we'll start our downwind as we get to 1,000 feet.
Okay.
You're right at the initial approach point here, and the initial the IP.
We'll be right at about 1,000 feet as we roll out.
And I also want to see the gliders out of the way. That's good. Okay. So I'm going to let you do everything except I want you to open the air brakes now slightly, the blue handle, and I want you to get the feel of how they affect they're not a pitch change, but they will slow you down. So we don't use full air brakes. Close them. Close it. So forward, all the way forward. So we won't need those very much.
Okay.
And we definitely don't want to use full air brakes because until you get used to that, they'll really bring you down quick.
Yeah.
So that'll give us a sink rate that we don't want to do that. So we want to go 55 knots now.
Okay.
So we want to trim if you need to the green knob next to your left there. And Homestead traffic got a glider in downwind 800 landing runway 9 turkeys. Caution for glider landing 9. So we're right now abeam, and we're going to go a little further, but we're going to keep looking over our shoulder where the end of the runway is.
The runway.
Now
Okay.
crack the air brakes, crack them, just a little bit.
Like that?
Yeah. And let's begin slow left turn, and just keep it coming around. Keep the nose down a little faster, and a little more air brake. More air brake, a little more air brake. More air brake, a little more, a little more, a little more. Okay, a little more air brake. And full air brake now for a second. Level the wings for a second. Yeah, so the middle little thin stripe, that's what the center line of the runway.
Yeah, I see the turf there.
Okay, so
turn.
full air brake now for a second, and then slide and turn. And keep it coming around. And close the air brakes now, no air brake. Okay, and open it again, crack it, and line up on that center stripe. More air brake, no faster. Keep the pitch steady now, and use more air brake to regulate your rate of descent. We want to aim a little further right. The runway's further right, further right, further right, further right, further right. Keep going, keep going. Further right, further right, further right. There you go. Your descent rate is good. I want you to land level. There's no flare.
Okay.
I'm going to let you land it, but close the air brakes a little bit. Less air brake, less air brake. Less air. Pitch the nose down a little bit. You're going to land level, no flare. Just you're going to let it settle in on its own. You're going to let it settle in on its own. Don't flare. No tail. No tail. That's good. Full air brakes. There you go. You landed it. I've got it. I've got it. I want to get it off. Let's see if I can get it a little bit off the runway because we're right in the middle here.
Almost.
All right. Almost. Very good. Okay. I hope you enjoy that.
That was so much fun. Thank you, sir. And the GoPro just died.